Hi, welcome to class. Uh, Thank you so much for coming today. I'm sorry for the big break in recording of the classes, and we just had a lot that was going on, and there was a little bit of traveling happening, but back to putting the classes out every week. And of course, if you like this class, if you have any questions, if there's anything that you'd like to see more or less of, feel free to leave comments in the comment section. And then also, if you like the classes, feel free to subscribe. So again, thank you for joining me today. We're going to be working through a bit of a flow. And if you feel that you usually use blocks in your practice, then grab your blocks. And whenever you're ready, we're going to meet on the mat in a comfortable seated position. So this might mean with the glutes on the heels, with the knees bent, or maybe with the legs crossed, relaxing the hands on top of your thighs, on your knees, wherever is most comfortable for your hands to land. And wherever you land, begin to breathe there. Maybe you close the eyes for a moment. Notice any and all sensations in your body. Notice any tensions, anywhere that you feel you would like to direct your breath in order to relax the body a little bit deeper, a little bit further. Begin to soften the brow, soften the muscles surrounding the eyes. Relax the muscles of the jaw. Relax the tongue inside of the mouth. Begin to elongate the spine upwards through the crown of the head, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, pulling the navel slightly in towards the spine, feeling the grounding through the sitting bones into your heels, into the floor, into the block. Take an inhalation here through the nose, directing the breath into your belly. With your exhalation through the mouth, cleanse your entire system. Inhaling through the nose. Again, directing the breath into the belly, this time maybe also feeling the ribs separate from one another, breathing into the diaphragm. And exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, directing the breath into the belly, feeling the ribs separate, allowing the chest to grow, feeling the back of the heart expanding, relaxing the shoulders, allowing them to hang heavy, feeling the neck growing, feeling the crown of the head pulling up as you inflate your entire body with this air. Hold the breath at the top. Feel yourself getting lighter. And long exhale through the mouth, cleansing the entire system. Inhale, gently blink the eyes open. Bring yourself onto all fours on your mat. And then just begin to invite a little bit of movement here, whatever feels natural to you, maybe circling the shoulders clockwise and counterclockwise over the wrists, warming up into the wrists. Making sure you are moving in both directions. Beginning to really activate the fingertips into the mat here. Taking the weight so that you're spreading it throughout the entirety of the hands, not just placing it in the wrists. Coming back through center, begin to move with your own breath through cat-cows, arching through the spine, rounding through the spine, bringing the chin in towards the chest. Maybe beginning to shift the weight a little bit backwards and forwards over top of the wrists. Continue to allow your breath to guide you in your movements today. And notice your breath whenever we're in any asana. Notice if maybe the breath begins to shorten. If maybe you can bring your attention back into the control of the breath. Continue to move with your breath, circling the spine, maybe peeking over your shoulders towards your hips. And then coming back into a neutral spine, rotate your hands so that the fingertips are facing your knees. If the knees feel really far away and you feel a lot of tension in the tops of your hands, then walk the knees forward a little bit towards the fingertips. Spread the fingertips, activate through them, begin to press them into the floor, and then begin to shift the weight towards the back of the heels. You can tuck the toes, untuck the toes. Again, just inviting movement that feels good to you. Making sure you're not causing yourself pain, but also finding that edge and then rubbing up against it mindfully. Making sure you're still working with your breath. You can continue to rock back and forth like this. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, walk your feet towards the back of the mat, coming into a plank pose with the fingertips facing the back of the mat. And again, you can begin to shift the weight a little bit further forward. Make sure you're starting to activate into the belly here. So all of the weight isn't down on the hands. Press deeply into the mat with your hands so that you can feel the scapula expanding. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Nice. Bring your knees back down towards the floor if you've lifted them. Bring yourself onto your heels. Maybe shake the wrists out a little bit. And then as you inhale, bring the arms up and overhead, gazing towards your fingertips. Begin to arch gently through the spine here. As you exhale, arch a little bit deeper. Make sure you're not working from the lower back, but from the upper back by pushing the chest forward and up, bending into the elbows, bringing the elbows down towards your ribs, towards your hips. Exhale, begin to round through the spine, bringing the chin in towards the chest, extending the arms out in front of you. Inhale, opening the chest, gazing up, creating that arch in the spine, feeling the neck expand. Exhale, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, arms extend forward. Inhale, opening the heart, gazing up. Exhale. Inhale, allowing your breath to guide you. And exhale, rounding. Inhale, gazing up. And exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale, arms overhead. Plug the sitting bones down into the heels. Feel the spine elongating. As you exhale, bring the hands down out in front of you. Press Deeply into the mat with your fingertips. Activate through the fingertips. Tuck the toes. Bring yourself into your first downward facing dog of this practice. You can pedal your knees, lifting the heels up off of the mat. Continuing to press the chest towards the top of the thighs. At any point in any moment of this practice, I invite you to exhale through the mouth if you're starting to feel any tension building up. We inhale and exhale through the nose in order to generate a bit more heat in the body. And then we are also a lot more in control of the breath if we're in and out through the nose. But because this is your practice, there may be times where you feel a little bit of tension or you feel like you just need to release a little bit more. And for this, exhaling through the mouth is really beneficial. Allowing the tongue to just fall out of the mouth. And once you're ready, finding a little bit of stillness in downward facing dog. Press the hands into the floor. Press yourself away from the floor. Elongate the spine. Press the chest towards the tops of the thighs. Press the left foot into the mat with your inhalation. Bring the right leg overhead, three-legged dog, working towards keeping the hips squared. Bend into the right knee. Shift the weight forward. Bring the knee to nose. Gaze into the space between your fingertips. Flex into the right foot. With control, drop the right foot in between your hands. Drop the left knee down. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Activate your left glute. As you exhale, cactus the arms, gazing up. Inhale, bring the belly to the top of the thigh. Extend the arms out in front of you. Bring your left leg up, floating into crouching tiger, keeping the right knee bent. As you inhale, begin to extend the right leg. Exhale, rebend into that right knee. With control, drop the left foot back behind you. Inhale, coming into crescent. Left heel is high, hips are squared. Exhale, activate the left butt cheek, gaze up, bend the elbows. Inhale, arms overhead, straighten through the right foot. Shift your hands forward, torso parallel with the mat. Exhale, bring the hands down towards the mat, either in a tent shape or gently bend into the right knee. And then bring the forehead down towards the right knee. Inhale, gazing forward. Exhale, returning back to a three-legged dog, extending the right leg overhead. Drop the right foot down to meet the left. Shift the weight forward. Drop the knees down towards the floor. Without touching the floor, keeping the knees hovering, begin to work into cat-cows here. So arching through the spine, gazing forward. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, pressing the scapula up, chin to chest. Inhale. Pressing the chest forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale, active fingertips. Press the fingertips into the floor. Distribute the weight evenly throughout all of your hand. Exhale, rounding through the spine. One more like this. Inhale. Exhale, coming into a downward facing dog. Again, invite as much or as little movement here by bending into your knees, maybe shifting the hips from side to side, stretching into the side body. Whatever feels good to you. Press your right foot into the floor with the inhalation. Bring the left leg up, hips squared. Exhale, shift the weight forward. Gaze into the space between your hands. Flex into that left foot. With control, drop the left foot in between your hands. Drop the right knee down onto the floor. Inhale, arms overhead. Activate the right glute. As you exhale, cactus the arms, gazing up. Inhale, arms out in front of you. Belly glues to the top of the left thigh. Extend the right leg back behind you. Inhale, elongate the left leg, straighten through the left leg. Exhale, rebend into that left knee. Bring the right foot back behind you. Inhale, crescent lunge. Exhale, cactus the arms, gazing up. Inhale, arms out in front of you, straightening through both legs, right heel high. Exhale, drop the hands towards the floor. Bring the forehead down towards the left knee. Inhale, gaze out in front of you. Exhale, bring the left foot towards the back, coming into that three-legged dog with the left leg up. Bring the left foot down to meet the right, shift the weight forward, return back into that hovering tabletop. Really activate through the scapula here. Press the hands firmly into the floor. Inhale, drop the belly, gazing forward, push the chest forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, gazing forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, gazing forward. Hovering knees. Exhale, returning back into downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, shift the weight forward, drop the right foot in between the hands. Left knee is high, right knee is bent. Inhale, crescent lunge, gaze towards the fingertips. Exhale, cactus the arms, gazing up. Inhale, arms out in front of you, bring the left leg up, hips are squared, drop the left hip down. Bend into that right knee, drop the belly towards the top of the thigh. Begin to straighten through the right leg. Bring the left knee in towards your nose, rounding through the spine, arms out in front of you. With control, bringing yourself all the way up. Left knee follows. Bring the right hand to the outside of the left knee. Bring the left knee back behind you. And bring the left hand back behind you. Relax the shoulders. Pull the left hip down. Inhale. Exhale, coming back through center, arms overhead. Drop the left foot down to meet the right, bend into the right knee, chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, bend a little bit deeper, shift the weight towards the heels. Inhale. Exhale with control, dropping the hands towards the mat or on blocks if you feel that you may need them. Drop the head down towards the mat. Inhale, extend, gaze forward. Exhale, press the hands into the floor. Walk the right foot, then the left towards the back of the mat, coming into plank. Shift the weight forward, bend into the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot into the mat. Inhale, left leg high, hips squared. Exhale, shift the weight forward, knee to nose, flex the left foot, bring the left foot in between the hands. Hips are still squared, so keep pushing the right hip forward as you pull yourself up. Left knee is bent, right heel is high. Inhale, arms overhead, crescent, pull the belly in. Exhale, activate the right glute, open the elbows, gaze up. Inhale, shift the weight forward, dropping the belly towards the top of the thigh. Extend the right leg, begin immediately to straighten through the left leg. Drop the right hip down. Bend into the left knee, drop the belly on top of the knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, arms extended, round through the spine gently, bring the right knee to nose. Inhale, coming all the way up, arms overhead, right knee with you. Exhale, left hand to the outside of the right knee. Bring the right hand back behind you, coming into a twist. Drop the right hip a little bit. Release the elbows. Release the shoulders. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, with control, drop the right foot down to the left, bend into both knees, coming into chair pose. Gazing out in front of you. Bring the weight into the heels. Inhale. Exhale, bringing the hands down towards the mat, dropping the head. Inhale, extend, gaze forward. Exhale, walk the left foot back, then the right, going through your Vinyasa Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot into the mat. Inhale, bring the right leg overhead, hips squared. Drop the right knee, shift the weight forward with control. Drop the right foot in between the hands. Left knee is high, right knee is bent. Inhale, arms overhead crescent, gazing towards your fingertips. Exhale, this time left hand towards the front, right arm towards the back, coming into a twisted crescent. Inhale, gaze towards the back hand if possible. Exhale, drop the right hand to the back of the left thigh. Extend the left arm overhead. Coming into an exalted crescent here. We're not putting a lot of weight on the back leg. You're using the strength of the glutes to help keep you up and just really extending the entire left side body. Inhale. Exhale, drop the left hand to the inside of the right foot. Extend the right arm overhead. Drop the hips a little bit lower. Take a deep inhalation here, gazing towards your right fingertips. As you exhale, begin to twist. Bend the right elbow, gaze towards your right elbow. Inhale, extend the right arm. Exhale, drop the right hand on the inside of your right foot. Drop the left foot so it's parallel with the mat, or the toes are slightly in. So warrior two with the legs. And then inhale, extend the left arm overhead. Take a deep breath here, opening the entire side body and front body, and press the right shoulder into the right knee. An alternative option here is placing a block under your right hand if the floor feels far. Inhale, gaze towards your left fingertips. Exhale, staying low. Rotate the right foot so that you're pressing into the right heel. Open the left foot a little bit, coming into Skandasana on the back of the mat. Another option here, if the heel is really popping up a lot and you feel yourself not feeling very stable, is to just bend into the left knee 90 degrees. And then bring your torso so it's parallel with the mat. Keeping the hands towards your heart. Inhale, keep pressing that right heel into the floor and really active right quadriceps wherever you are. As you exhale, press yourself up from wherever you are, bending into both knees, coming into goddess pose. So readjust your feet, toes facing away from one another, heels in line with one another. Pull the tailbone slightly down, pull the belly in towards the spine, and then begin to bend into the knees even deeper. Notice your breath. Connect with your breath. Notice if you're really leaning forward. If that's the case, then pull yourself back. Work towards bringing the shoulders in line with your hips. Inhale. Exhale, bend a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale with control, straightening through the legs. Pivot the feet so that they're now parallel to one another. Interlace the hands together behind your back, opening the chest, active in the quadriceps. As you exhale, bringing yourself all the way down towards the mat, crown of the head works towards touching the floor. Arms come out in front of you. Pull the belly in, begin to activate your Uddiyana Bandha here. So pull the navel in towards the spine. Keep the chin in towards the chest. Again, active quadriceps. Pull the glutes away from one another as you shift your weight slightly further forward. Heels are just lightly touching the floor. Inhale. Long spine. Exhale slowly and with control, bringing yourself all the way up. Bringing your left hand to your left hip. Opening the right foot. Right toes facing the front of the mat. Walk the left foot in a little bit, bend into that right knee. Bring the right hand down in front of the right foot on the floor or on the block as you, with control, begin to float the left foot up. Coming into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Try to find your balance here. So the tendency is to let the left leg just kind of float. It's really important for the balance to activate into that left foot. So whether that means pointing your toes or flexing your toes, or creating a demi point where you're just really extending through the front of the foot while active in the toes, whichever is part of your practice or whichever you want to start to incorporate into your practice, now is really a good time to start to do that. So you'll notice that as soon as you start to activate into the foot, the rest of the leg becomes active and we have a lot more control over it. It's not moving our bodies from side to side. The left hand can be on the floor, on the block. It can float. It can come to your shin. Connect with your breath. Either stay here or begin to extend the left arm. You can stay there or gaze towards your left fingertips. Come back to the foot. Notice what's happening with the foot. Can you reactivate into that left leg? Another inhalation here. And then as you exhale with control, bring the left hand down in line with the right. Square the hips off, left toes pointing down, left heel pushing away from you. Long spine as you gaze forward. Begin to pendulum swing the left foot. Begin to bend into the right knee. Extend the left foot out in front of you. Bring the hands together in front of your heart. If you'd like to lower the left heel, that's totally fine as well. You can also keep the hands on the floor. We're working towards elevating the left foot and bringing the hands together in front of the heart. Notice your breath. Inhale. As you exhale, either the hands on the floor or without using the hands, begin to swing the left foot towards the back, overhead, coming into standing splits. Inhale, square off the hips again, gaze forward, drop that left hip, pull the belly in. Exhale, drop the left foot towards the back. Drop the left knee onto the floor with control. Walk the hands towards the back. Begin to extend through the right leg. Right toes pointing towards your face. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, dropping the forehead down towards the extended leg. Working in a straight spine, bending from the hips. This means that maybe your forehead won't go all the way down to the knee, but that's totally fine. We're working towards really extending the hamstring here. Keep pressing that right heel into the floor and flexing those right toes towards you. One more inhalation, elongate the spine. As you exhale, press the hands into the floor, protract through the scapula, press the hands in so that you can feel the scapula rising. Bend into the right knee, bring the right leg back behind you. So the right foot is extended, the left knee is in line with the left hip. As you inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, round through the spine, bring the right knee to nose. Keep pressing your hands into the floor. Inhale, extend, gaze forward. Exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Drop the right knee down towards the left. Opening the knees a little bit wider, bringing your big toes to touch, coming into child's pose for a moment, dropping the forehead down onto the floor, extending the arms out in front of you. Release any tension in your jaw, any tension in your forehead. Notice the very obvious differences in sensation from one side of the body to the other. Release any tension in the belly. Allow the belly to hang heavy. With your next inhalation, grip the mat with your fingertips as you begin to raise your forehead, gazing forward, shifting the weight forward, bringing the toes onto the floor, bringing the knees parallel underneath your hips. A couple cat-cows here, gazing forward, opening the chest. Maybe you micro bend into the elbows and press the chest further forward. And then as you exhale, round through the spine, bringing the chin in towards the chest. Inhaling, gazing forward, opening the heart. Exhaling, rounding through the spine. Inhaling, gazing forward. And as you exhale, bring yourself into your downward facing dog. Press the right foot into the floor with the inhalation. Bring the left leg overhead, hips are squared. Exhale, bend into the left knee, shift the weight forward with control. Drop the left foot in between your hands. Right heel is high. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, active right butt cheek as you begin to bend into the elbows and gaze up. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, now bring the right hand out in front of you, left arm back behind, coming into a twisted crescent. Notice what's happening with your left knee. Can you bend into that left knee a little bit deeper? Inhale, work the shoulders in line with the hips. Exhale, left hand grazes the back of the right thigh, extend the right arm overhead. Feel the expansion happening in your entire right side body. Another inhalation here, breathing into that right lung. Exhale, bring the right hand down to the inside of your left foot. Drop the hips slightly. Bring the left arm overhead. Take a deep inhalation, gaze towards your left fingertips. Exhale, bring the left hand to the inside of your left foot. Rotate the back foot so that the alignment is left heel to right arch. Warrior two with the legs, and then pull your hips down and forward so that they're in line with the heels as you begin to extend the right arm overhead. Taking a deep inhalation here, gazing towards your right fingertips. Option to use a block here under your left fingertips. And then as you exhale, staying super low, begin to rotate the right foot open, bringing the weight into the left heel, bringing yourself towards the back of the mat in Skandasana, or into that 90-degree angle with the leg, making sure that then the torso is parallel and still spinning the left heel open. Using the hip rotation on the left side to help open the hip a little bit deeper. Take an inhalation straight back wherever you are. And exhale, without using the hands, begin to bend into the left knee, opening both of the toes away from one another, coming into goddess pose. Maybe this time you bring your hands to the top of the thighs. Keep elongating the spine, checking in if the shoulders are in line with the hips. Take an inhalation here. Exhale. If your hands aren't on your thighs, then bring your hands to the tops of the thighs now, and first begin to drop the right shoulder down towards the center of the mat, and then gazing maybe back behind you towards your left shoulder. Inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, other side. Dropping the left hip down, making sure you're not pushing into the knees. You don't want to be pushing into the joints. Push into the inner thighs. Inhale, coming back through center, rebending into the knees for a moment, pulling that tailbone down and forward, pulling the navel in towards the spine. With control, begin to straighten through the legs. Pivot the back foot, left toes, open up a little bit more so that they're facing the front of the mat. Bring your right hand to your right hip rather. Bend into that left knee. Bring the left hand down in front of the left foot onto the floor or onto the block. With control, begin to bring the right leg up, coming into half moon. So again, check in here with your right leg. Notice if it's just hanging down. Notice if only the glute is working to elevate your leg. If that's the case, begin from the toes. So flex the toes or point the toes, whatever is more comfortable to you. And then begin to raise the heel so that it's in line with the hip. Keeping this activation of the leg, you'll notice that when you start to really press from either the toes or the heel away from you, trying to make that leg super long, it immediately activates the quadriceps, the glute, the muscles leading into your lower back to help you stabilize. So find a focal point on the floor. Maybe first work towards floating the left hand off of the floor. Also really active in the left leg here. Press the left big toe into the floor. Feel that connection. And then maybe stay here or begin to raise the right arm overhead. Gaze can continue to be on the floor, or maybe you begin to gaze up towards the right fingertips. Notice your breath. Take an inhalation. As you exhale with control, square the hips. Bring the right hand down in line with the left. Keep active in that right foot. Maybe now flex the foot if it's not already flexed. Keep pressing the heel away from you. With control, begin to pendulum swing the right foot forward, bending into that left knee. Bringing the hands together in front of your heart. Take an inhalation. Exhale, hands to the floor, or without using the hands, depending on the strength of your left leg, extend the right leg overhead, coming into standing splits. Take an inhalation, square those hips off, keep extending the right leg. As you exhale, drop the right foot back behind you. Gently drop the left knee down onto the floor, walk the hands towards the back, and then flex through the left toes, press the left heel into the mat. Left toes pointing up towards you. Inhale, long spine, gaze forward. Exhale, dropping the belly to the top of the thigh. Working on not really rounding through the spine here, wanting to keep a straight spine, and then just dropping the belly towards the top of the thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming back up. Walk the hands towards you, towards the back of the mat a bit. Protract through the scapula. Bend into that left knee. Bring the left foot back behind you. Then bring the hands underneath the shoulders, keeping the hips squared, left leg extends. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, round the spine, left knee to nose. Inhale, extend, gaze forward. Exhale, round the spine, knee to nose. Inhale, one more like this. Exhale, round the spine, knee to nose. Drop the left knee down to meet the right. Bring the knees together. Drop the sitting bones down onto the heels. Place the hands on top of the thighs. Maybe close your eyes for a moment. Reconnect with your breath. Soften the brow, soften the muscles surrounding the eyes. Soften the jaw. Release the tongue, allow it to hang heavy in the mouth. Bring your attention to your heart. Feel the heart expanding with every inhalation. Imagine that there is a small smile forming in your heart. With the next inhalation, gently blink the eyes open. Bring yourself onto your knees. Walk the feet away from one another. Walk the knees away from one another, making sure that they remain parallel, but not super open and also not together. You can tuck the toes if you'd like to. And then begin by pulling the tailbone slightly down so that you feel the hip flexors pressing forward. Pull the glutes in towards one another. And then keeping this activation here, bring your hands to your lower back. Hands, palms in line with your sacrum, fingers on your glutes. And then again, come back to that activation of pulling the glutes in towards one another. Work towards pulling the elbows in towards one another, at the same time pulling the navel in towards the spine. And then begin to gaze up, opening the heart. This is part one of camel pose. So without pressing the hips super far forward, making sure we're not crunching in the lower back here, we're just pulling the heart up. Gaze up, opening the throat, slowly coming all the way back up, releasing the arms, releasing the glutes, maybe shaking it out for a moment. And then either returning back to the same camel preparation, so activating into the glutes, bringing the palms onto the tops of the glutes, and then pushing the heart up, gazing up. If you'd like to go a bit deeper in camels in your practice, then you can bring your left hand to your left ankle. So the left fingertips would be on the inside of the foot. And then maybe the first step is just extending the right arm back behind you, gazing up. So you don't want to feel any crunching sensation in the lower back. You're really pulling the chest up and then back versus pushing the hips super far forward. If you feel at any point that you're losing activation in your glutes or your quadriceps, that means you're putting too much weight and pressure on your lower back. Coming back up with control. It may not feel like pain right now, but it's one of those things that if you continue to do it and put strain on that part of your back without the proper engagement of the rest of the muscles, eventually it's going to come back and just not allow you to go into any of these deep back bending poses. We really want to be working into opening the chest, expanding the shoulders here, pulling the scapulae in towards one another. Bringing your right hand down to the inside of your left ankle. Maybe you begin to extend the left arm back behind you. Maybe the gaze follows your left fingertips. Notice what's happening with your breath. Inhale. Exhale, coming all the way back up. Now extending the arms out in front of you. Pull the tailbone slightly down, keeping the legs parallel as they are. You can keep the hands out in front of you. Maybe you bring your hands to your heart. You'll have to see what's more comfortable for you. Keeping that tuck of the tailbone slightly down by pulling the navel in towards the spine and pulling the glutes in towards one another. Begin to push yourself back. So really staying strong in the entire body, just hinging from the knees moving back. So the lower back is stable, the chest is stable, everything else is stable. bringing yourself back forward. Inhale. Exhale, shifting the weight back. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, shifting the weight back. This time holding the breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release, coming forward. Retuck the back toes. And then coming into full camel if it's in your practice. Otherwise, bringing your hands down onto your lower back, onto your sacrum and the tops of your glutes, and just pressing your chest up. Taking an inhalation. Exhale with control, bringing yourself all the way up. The head is the last to come up. Untucking the toes with control, bringing the sitting bones back down onto your heels. Allowing yourself to just rest here again for a moment, placing the hands on tops of your thighs. Reconnecting with the breath. Noticing the sensations in the body. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose, elongating the spine. And exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling, blinking the eyes open if you'd like to, extending the arms overhead. As you exhale, bring the right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Bring the left hand towards the back. Gaze over your left shoulder. Gentle twist here. Inhaling, coming back through center, extending the arms overhead. And exhaling, going into the other side. Left hand to the outside of the right thigh. Release any tension in the shoulders. Gaze back behind you. Inhaling with control, arms overhead. Exhale, placing the hands on the floor, crossing the feet, bringing the hands back behind you, extending the legs away from you. Press the heels into the floor, flex the toes, activate the legs, press the palms into the floor, coming into Dandasana. So we are trying to achieve the ultimate lock here in this pose. So lock in the sense of holding the energy within the inside of the body. So take an inhalation. Exhale through the nose. As you exhale, hold the breath at the end and then pull the Mula Bandha up, pull the perineum up, active pelvic floor, pull the Uddiyana Bandha in, bring the chin down towards the chest in Jalandhara Bandha. Bring the hands down, really pressing the hands into the floor without taking any inhalations or exhalations, just staying here, gazing towards the tip of your nose. Inhale, release the pose. Extend the arms overhead. Exhale, bring the hands out in front of you, towards the floor, onto your shins, and just release the spine, rounding through the spine. You can allow the legs to hang heavy, maybe the knees open a little bit. Allowing gravity to pull your head down. Releasing anything in your jaw.
Feeling the entire back line expanding as you just continue to allow the head to hang heavy. With your next inhalation, little by little, roll the spine all the way back up. As your shoulders come in line with your heels, pull the knees in towards your belly. Make sure there's nothing back behind you. And then keeping that roundness of the spine, bringing yourself all the way down onto your mat. Releasing the arms, swaying the knees from side to side, releasing anything in the lower back. And then bringing the feet up, coming into happy baby. Bringing your hands to the outside of your feet, to your ankles or to your big toes. Releasing the shoulders down towards the floor. Maybe inviting a bit of swaying from side to side. Slowly bringing your knees together, bringing your hands behind your thighs. With control, extending the legs away from one another, away from the body, releasing the arms, palms facing up. Taking a deep breath into the belly. And exhaling through the mouth. Staying here in Shavasana for as long as you need to, allowing the entire body to relax, to release, giving yourself the time that you deserve to really just rest in peace. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I will see you next time.